from a narrative point of view, we're moving towards the cave, and I really, my fingers are itching to stop this Vaesen, though I might not have the means to do it.
All right. Okay then.
Poor misunderstood thing.
What do you think? Should we try and get back to Krokek or something? Are there any other preparations, by the way?
What do you mean?
No, anything maybe character-wise or dice-wise or something. I was thinking though that instead of initiative cards during combat, we would roll. Would it be fine rolling 2d6 instead? I was thinking that even though we usually the game rules officially states that we should use playing cards, I think that 2d6 instead would be a little easier just for this instance.
Whatever you like. I do have playing cards here, and I could be the initiative monitor if you. Either way.
I'm fine with either way.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm fine too.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's just for the sake of convenience. All right then. I didn't bring an introductory text really this time, so let's just return to the guest house, shall we? The storm is still brewing outside. There's still dark clouds out in the horizon. The few rays of sunshine quickly disappear in the surrounding forests around you. And as you're about to head out, you can see some of the guests looking over in the direction of the windows on the balcony. And across the window, you see what appears to be a little an old man peering through the windows of what appears to be the guest house. He has a rather, let's see if I do this right. It seems to be a rather old man with a rather wrinkly skin and long, rather grayish white hair, as well, just pressing his nose, just peering in through the windows and looking rather dismayed.
This is not the constable.
This is not the constable at all. He is
No.
not wearing a uniform.
And I'm probably saying that this is not the constable, just so everyone knows. My streetwise ways, I'm sharing that with everyone else.
You basically see what appears to be a worn old man in a grey knitted sweater with rather bushy white sideburns and beard. His greyish hair is rather long and wild, skin wrinkly and worn like that of a raisin, with a sour, eternally dismayed look on his face. You can see that in his hand he holds what appears to be a beautiful staff made of linden wood. He looks rather, like a curious person, just, staring inside, looking rather sour himself.
Peter, would you permit me a learning? This strikes Otto as rather strange in some ways, but he's been thinking a lot about Vaesen, of course, and perhaps this is a good chance for a learning roll.
I would say, what are you trying to find out?
This man appearing out of the storm in a kind of, and his appearance leads me to think that other Vaesen or beings relevant to them may be awakening as well. And also, from Otto's point of view, he's worried it's the devil. But the point is a learning role to get some perspective on what this thing is, and maybe he's worried about supernatural and theological things happening all around him right now. So,
all right.
So if that's okay.
Yeah, where are we? Are we inside the guest house going out, or what?
I assume we're in the dining area. But
I would say you're in the dining area on the first floor of the guest house.
Okay. So that's 6 dice for me. Is that okay, Peter? To roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
I get 1 6.
He appears quite human, though. Rather wrinkly, an aged ward. He's a little too big for being a Nisse or Tomte, probably. It's a little bit uncertain, but he doesn't have any, what do you call it, special characteristics that
so
you would mark out as a Vaesen.
Right. No
You suspect
runes
that he
or
is fully
funny ears or anything.
he seems to be fully human, unless he's some kind of what do you call it, magical spell or visage of some kind. Unless it's an illusion. He does press his nose up against the window.
I will come up to it.
Looking inside.
I will come up to it and put my nose just opposite his, and I will say, "You seem cold and wet, old sir. Will you join us?"
The window is basically a rather half askew, so you can hear his voice. He looks at you with a very dour expression, saying that the blasted guest house, not good for anybody, I tells you. Sinners and ne'er-do-wells and other freethinkers coming here, drawn like flies to sugar.
I'll step back to my companions and say, he has opinions.
He looks at you rather with priest as well. He gives you a sort of a scowl, saying that, well, I hear your words, father. Hanging with Mrs. Jönsson and her ilk are no good at all. I say unto thee, Jesus himself warned us about false prophets. They will come unto us in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves.
He's taking all my
every
lines.
sound tree bears good fruit, but every bad tree bears evil. I'll not be here tongue-wagging with 3 fingers around here. He just turns, half stumbles back up the road, along with his staff, muttering to himself. He seems to be, very disgusted with you.
I'm offended.
Do
you want me to take care of him?
No. He's a weird
It's
old
no
man.
trouble.
He's a weird old man, but he seems to have the right idea. If I merely ask that you come as prepared as best you can, Hilding.
Yes, of course.
And
I suddenly dive down and I tie your shoelaces because they're undone.
Oh, okay, that's very good. I will look to Beatrice, to Elsa, and to Root, and I will say, in these matters, you lead.
You can see the sea captain out in one of the guests at the guest house, basically closing the window, shaking his head, saying, "Oh, I think that was Magnus Lundin, the bell ringer."
The bell ringer.
He seems to be in a very sour mood today, the old apple. He closes the window and just makes sure that it's safe from the rain. And then he goes off to sit with his friend. All right then. Are the party itself heading out?
Sure.
All right then. You step outside. It's rather windy still, and the rain is. It's not a sleet really, though. It's more of a drizzle this time. The roads are still a little muddy, but navigable. Where are you headed?
Yeah, but who has the map?
Beatrice, so I guess she's leading.
Yeah, we were going to the cave, right?
Yeah, I think we agreed that, but it was kind of far, so I think we have to figure out how to get there. I don't think we can just walk there, right? It was that far.
Yeah, it's true. If it's in the ravine, then you're right.
Yeah.
It's a few kilometers, which I suppose for people in this culture would be fine in an ordinary day, but it is stormy and windy. Yeah. But is there some kind of a wagon, Peter, or something like that we can make
there are
use of?
there are wagons about. You can see what appears to be a rather, what do you call it, rather distressed farmer trying to put away his wagon and horse in one of the stables off to the road, trying to as his best to get the horse inside.
Maybe we can ask him if we can hire him and the wagon to get closer to the ruby. We can send him back when we are
if you
distance
provide
from it.
Mhm.
if you provide the money and like give him something that will allow us to lend him, I can ride the wagon and you can sit in the back and everything will be fine.
I will look at Beatrice very, very distinctly. As soon as the word of money and payment is involved, I look at Beatrice and I kind of look like that.
Do we really need to pay for it? Fine.
This is
But
Otto's
look-
idea of how you get stolen money back into the economy.
I'm just looking back and forth between Otto and Beatrice and kind of shake my head.
I'm also confused. I feel that I've done something wrong, but I don't know what.
No, you have done just fine.
Yeah, but
Beatrice
I
is
didn't
a-
understand that.
Beatrice pays for it begrudgingly, but she doesn't show it to the one she buys it to. But as soon as she turns around, she's like,
Mhm.
"Can go." So, can anyone drive this?
Yes, I can drive it.
Good. I'll sit in the back.
Actually, I don't know if I can drive it, but
Oh, no.
I this is something that Hilding really, this is what I perceive as my job to be doing these things.
Hmm.
But I think it's common, even and if you live in a town, that you're around the horses is always around.
Yeah, they're
They
the
are very-
standard.
Yeah, so like sitting and just like get a wagon and a horse, I think it's part of your basic education. If you run errands for folk in the past, so. But anyway, I can roll a die also. I'm totally for that. If you want me to.
All right. So you ask the farmer to lend his wagon and horse for a day or so, or for a few hours, perhaps.
Or even give him money for it. So.
We already have.
All right. Yes. Yeah. He lends you his wagon and horse. There's no problem. He was just saying that he'll be back before morning.
Mhm.
Yes, of course.
All right.
And he will be healthier than he was when
He
he's now.
gives you a little suspicious eye, but still,
Yeah.
he gives you a nod, and it's a
Hilding, shut up.
good money. It's good money, at least. Yes.
Yes, the best money you can get around here. I'm just jumping up and like.
All right then.
I guess is it like just a kind of an open wagon?
Yes, it is. It's sort of what do you call it? A open wagon, mainly used for hay. It's a
Okay.
sort of a, what do you call it? A rebuilt hay wain.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes.
All right.
Right.
Then
An appropriate role,
I
think,
guess
would be the best.
yes, that would be then. What? Humor me. What do I roll?
Does he
I
need
would
to
s-
roll anything?
I would say no. I'm just looking at it all. Either manipulation, I would say. Manipulation, empathy, or I would say inspiration, empathy as well, depending on what you do.
I prefer manipulation.
All right then.
because I don't have any inspiration at all.
All right.
So,
I'm going to help and I'm walking next to the horse's head. I'm walking with the horse up front.
All right. Making sure that it
don't listen
gets
to
used
that man. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Don't listen to that man.
The horse neighs a little, trying to examine who you are, with his big muscle.
Yeah,
Yes,
I kind of frown, but because I rolled 1 success, so I get this rolling.
It's quite excellent. It starts going into a trot, a rather speedy trot.
Ooh.
All right then. So
I'll get on the way.
All right then. Yeah, you're all on your way though. This is still about drizzle outside. As you head up towards the northwestern part, so the village itself, you come to what appears to be a bend in the road. Magnus, you can see what appears to be a few signs on the wooden gate just by the side of the road. You recognize them as hobo signs. You recognize these two. Do you continue on? It's mainly some signs on the wooden fence next to what appears to be the. By the way, did you have a relation, Magnus, in the village?
No, I did not.
All right, but you recognize these signs in any case. And across your heads, you can see a black raven circling around.
It's back.
Is it like a kind of storm also, or is it like more bad omens?
Storm is mainly off in the distance, though it's blowing quite fiercely now and then. The trees are rustling all about. Leaves are blowing in the wind, and sometimes you need to just, put down your caps or just huddle around in the wagon, trying to looking for a little bit of warmth. It's a little bit cold still.
So how far is this? Well, if you go by like wagon, with the wagon and the horse, is it like how many? Is it like half an hour, or is it?
Over to the ravine.
Yeah.
It seems to be from the description that you've been given. It seems to be around 2 hours away, or 1.5 to 2 hours away.
Okay. With the wagon.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, that's quite far. 2 hours per wagon. The wagon maybe goes like 15 kilometers an hour, 20. So that's pretty far away. Okay, sorry, mine's.
Yeah, it's the ravine itself has been described to us to be up in the woods northwest of the village.
Right, so we have to go up the ravine. I think that's the issue. So
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
So we will proceed. I guess past these interesting marks on the fence, and that I don't think my character knows much about, and we will head up the ravine. While I'm sitting in the wagon, I will look about and I will say, is it resolved that we destroy this thing? Is there some way, perhaps, to return it to its cave for sleep? And I remember something and say, the apple! Do we have the apple?
Yeah, I think we brought some apples from somewhere.
No, there's a
It's
special
also
apple.
nuts.
At least I think it's a special apple. I could be terribly wrong. It could have been a random apple that Olga was planning on eating that evening and then nothing more. But on the other hand, it's the closest thing to a special apple that we have. So,
in a way, I have that apple in a separate pocket,
That's right,
and a lot of more apples and nuts that I bought.